Hello and welcome to my Pyromancy build in Dark Souls 3. I just kind of wanted to show off and honestly get it in recording somewhere. Just in case my file gets wiped and I need to, reference back to, what my original build was in this game. But, um, I went into Dark Souls 3 pretty blind. And I just happened to pick a Pyromancer as my... Actually, you know what? I don't think I actually picked the Pyromancer as my starting. I don't know if it can tell me that anywhere. Anyways, I don't think I should pick one. I kind of changed to one eventually later on, but yeah, I just kind of want to show off the spells I use, the weapon I have, my stats, kind of how things work for me, and I don't know, maybe it's interesting to you too. So um, we'll start off with just my character. Obviously, I am way over leveled. 211 here. So a lot of my stats are definitely at the soft caps, and some of them are even past the soft caps a little bit. But um, the big thing is that I focus on faith and intelligence because both of those boost pyromancies. So and pyromancy damage. So that was the big thing, was just getting those both to 50, and now obviously beyond as well. Um, as far as equipment and inventory goes, or weapons here goes, I've been using the Astora Greatsword for most of the build. I'll show off some variations of weapons I use, just kind of depending on the situation. But Pyromancy Flame, leveled up to plus 10, also, and then the Fallen Knight armor, just because it is peak Souls fashion here. I mean, this thing is just the fucking coolest little thing. Anyways, sorry, enough about that. As far as rings go, a lot of stuff just boosting everything else. So greatly boost pyromancies, greatly boost increase intelligence, increase faith, and then I don't have the... Yeah, okay. And then increase HP and stamina. And this last one I kind of changed depending on situations. It just kind of depends on what's going on. So, as far as spells go, pyros that I use, Chaos Bed Vestiges is probably the number one thing that I cast. Show it off here if you've never seen it. Of course, I can't lock onto any of these guys. But this thing's got some pretty good distance, pretty good range. Just this massive fire orb comes ripping out of you. Kind of an AoE explosion. I'm doing, what, damn near 1,000 damage here. Come on. Almost 1,000 damage. Next up is the Great Chaos Fire Orb, which is more of a lob type, but it also makes a fire pool on the ground. So you get enemies that kind of just walk into it a little bit. It doesn't have the greatest range in the world, so you got to be a little bit closer than the Chaos Bed Vestiges. But next we have the Black Fire Orb. So if you want to do dark damage instead of fire damage, this was a good option. Just a pretty normal. It's doing significantly less damage, but sometimes it was really used for times when I had fire resistant enemies and I needed to have some sort of difference because they're not getting hurt by my fire damage that much. And then we have Great Combustion, which I didn't use that much, and it was really depending on the bosses. If I knew a boss was, someone like Vort, or someone big and that was I would have to get close to. Great Combustion is pretty nice, where it just is a quick little burst. Does pretty significant damage as well, for this quick little thing. So those are the main... Okay, not sure how I missed that soul on New Game +3, but those are the main spells that I would use. Let me just plunge my stuff here. As far as the sword goes, this thing is a very big, chunky, great sword. I'll show it off here in just a second. But the way it's infused, you'll see that I get fire damage. So that's what the Chaos Infusion does to it, I believe. And then with my scaling, so it does base damage 146, but then my scaling, because Chaos scales with Intelligence and Faith, has A scaling now, and I have those maxed out at, at 50 plus. I get plus 332 damage. So this thing is doing just insane amounts of fire damage. Again, though, that can be a problem if I'm going against someone that is fire. So I need to do something that was also boosted by my stats, and dark was the other energy, or was the other damage type that scaled the most. So sometimes I'll use this reinforced dark sword. I'll show these kind of off. It's a much shorter sword, but a lot faster. So if I'm having to just quickly chop through something, I would use that. Once you get the Onyx Blade, which is pretty freaking sweet. Again, this is a kind of a longer, slower sword, but again, dark damage. The Deep Battle Axe you get at this level, right here at this level, this thing is phenomenal. Like, I use this thing all the way up to the end of my game, of my playthrough. I love this axe, very much so. So those were kind of my big ones. I would also have a couple variations here. This one had lightning damage. This one was just straight magic damage. I just had a lot of variation if I needed to switch something, to switch something out. And then obviously all the different shields. So this one was, this one was fire resistance. This one's lightning resistance. This one was kind of magic resistance there. It just I just had a lot of variation of things, and I would switch them out depending on what I needed. But when you're level 211, you have the stats to where you can do that sort of thing. So, yeah, this was just kind of wanted to show it off and get everything put on paper here. This is a really great build. I really do recommend trying a Pyromancer. There's so many different ways you can take the Pyromancer in this game. If you want to just do straight up throwing fireballs and everything else, you can. Oh, shit. Swarm. You could just throw fireballs if you wanted to do, just even the Pyromancer to infuse your right-hand weapon with flame. You could just do that and do still a very physical strength focused, but doing a pyro addition to it. I have obviously all the pyromancies. I can kind of go through them here. Fireball, bigger fireball, bursting fireball, which is just kind of scatter shot. I've shown this one. Floating chaos. This one shows a fireball up in the air, and it spits little fireballs out at people. This one is just like flamethrower. This is fire whip. It's kind of cool. I'll show this one off real quick. Just kind of do this like circle in front of you. It's not quite what you would imagine it is, but Firestorm, Chaos Storm, I'll show you what those are in just a minute. Great Combustion I've shown off. Flame Fan, which again, this is kind of like a sweeping thing in front of you. Sacred Flame. Profane Flame. Show that one off as well. Then it gets into the Poison Mists and Toxic Mist, which, are pretty cool if you can get someone to sit in the dang mist the whole time, then great. Here's Acid Mist, basically Flash Sweat, increased fire damage absorption. This is really amazing for some of these bosses. Boosts all resistances, which is just amazing all around. Increases weight, but it kind of boosts absorption, boosts attack, gradually lose health. Karthus Beacon, damage increased with consecutive attacks. And then this is Karthus Flame Mark, which you can reinforce your right hand weapon with flame. And then Warmth, restore HP. Rapport, charm them. You get the boulders, boulder heave, and then you get to the black flame stuff. I kind of want to show off the black serpent also, but I'll show off a couple more of these other ones. Just kind of make it creates this thing further away. Let's see if I can hit this guy up top. I got him. That was a chunky hit right there too. That was pretty nice actually. Sorry, my dog is having a dream right now. Let me show off some of these spells. Firestorm, Chaos Storm. Show off the floating one. Show that. And this black flame is like this Great Combustion. It's just dark damage instead of fire damage. That's kind of it. I'll just show off these ones too, just to show you what they are. Do this one first. Like I said, this one should kind of raise up a thing, and then it'll home in on enemies. Fires out 3, so pretty cool. That in the ground, it goes scattering across the floor. Firestorm. All around you, explosions. Amazing AoE. Chaos Storm. Even more so. And leaves pools of lava on the ground. So, anyways, I think that's enough. Really, really fun build. Try it out sometime. Play around with throwing fireballs at people. It's really, in my experience, the bosses are either super susceptible to flame damage, or they are fire enemies, and so you have to have a variation, and that's where the dark came in for me. If I had a fire boss, I would be throwing a lot of dark fire orbs and things like that at them, and kind of changing up my build a little bit to go along with it, and maybe even changing my weapon. But yeah, it's kind of nice having this big chunky sword, and being able to chuck off a fireball here and there afterwards. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Try out a Pyromancer sometime. They're a lot of fun.